How the heck are you, everybody? Very fun, very unique video today. I'm joined for a quintuple five-some interview, me and the 4 top players from the Epic Challenge. The 5 of us make our top 5 finishers, and all 4 of these guys are viewers and just amazing players in Watcher Realms. We're just gonna get right into it, starting at number 5, going up to number 2. Unfortunately, I was number 1, but I will say, if you want some juice, I think when we reach bingo at number 2, I definitely want to have a discussion if we should just crown him the winner, because I think there probably is an argument. More on that later.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
But right now, we're here on Andrew's account. And funny enough, right when I logged into your account, Andrew, Iona popped up, your Game Changer $5 Epic AoE Mage. She would have been a game changer, right? But you didn't go for it.
Yeah, I didn't, and fortunately, I didn't pull her either. She wasn't a game changer. She wasn't a game changer because if in this challenge, I figured out, I think a lot of people figured out, if you got Abomination built right, 119 was pretty easy.
That's pretty true. I will say that does require getting Abomination. And as someone that pulled 5 mid-on and 4 Lily and not a single Vortex, it didn't work out for everybody. But we'll see here, guys. Yeah, no Iona. And I just want to ask the other 3 guys, too. Did anyone pull Iona? I will say all of us are free to play. There was an Iona to play option where you just bought Iona. People like Destin did that. A handful of people did that. There was a pay as much as you want option. A good example of that is R-Type and I believe Mana. They both placed extremely high. Did anyone happen to just pull Iona, even though we were all 100% free to play?
I pulled Iona the first day.
Do you want to introduce yourself, by the way?
Yeah, I'm Dani.
So you did
I played the game for 6 months now. And
awesome.
I pulled Iona right after I got my guaranteed epic. I did
Crazy.
5 pulls.
So you got your starter marksman and your next epic was
Yes.
Iona?
I got Idril and I pulled Iona and Esprit.
Crazy. Right at the beginning, Estrid, Iona,
Yes.
Idril.
Yes.
What a time to be alive.
I knew that was the account I'm gonna play.
That is fantastic. We definitely are going to get to that when we get to you. That is crazy. If everyone didn't know, the first account obviously was Andrew. That's why I said I was on Andrew's account. That was the first voice you heard. Do we want to just bingo? Do you want to quickly introduce yourself as well?
Hi, yeah, no, I didn't get Iona on mine. Although I can't complain too much, I got pretty much most other things as we'll see soon. So yeah, I was feeling pretty lucky the whole time, but no Iona for me.
Yeah, I would guess, guys, spoiler alert, I think all 5 of us are going to have been pretty lucky. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that. Just continuing down the line, I've been calling you Hantuyx, but we're going to call you said Hantuyx. Did you snag an Iona? You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Hantuyx. I don't know. You can pronounce it however you want. Doesn't really matter. But I didn't get Iona. I got Estrid really early on. She hard carried. And then, of course, I got the necessary epics, Dolores and Hollow.
That's fantastic. I think, can we just all right off the bat, everyone has Dolores, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to all the 18s and ended up having to dump about 5k gems just trying to pull for her because I couldn't progress without her anymore. So I got hurt on that one pretty bad, and I'm apparently the no Estrid Andy in the group, so I did not pull Estrid.
I think there'll be a key thing as we go through all these accounts and all these rosters, guys. I think almost all of us will have like an Abomination or a Micah or both. I can't imagine any of us are missing like a Maul and an Estrid and like some other, and an Idril. You know, there's going to be key moments. So I think let's take this moment to transition straight into your account, Andrew. I'm just going to have a quick peek, guide everybody through it. You pulled so many legendaries. Holy crap.
Yeah, I did pretty well. There was like a 100 pull stretch where I pulled 3 legendaries and like 2 epics.
That is really interesting. I think we'll probably do this for every account. Let's take a quick peek at how many summons everyone did. So you did 689. I did 720. So I actually did more than you. And yeah, pretty interesting. I will definitely check in with everybody to see how much. Was Idril your starter epic?
No.
No.
I did a couple referral accounts for myself, just trying to see if it works to farm on my main, and I thought the best chance would be to roll for Brienne because I knew that day 2 and 3 had a 15x on.
That's a good shout. Yeah, and he picked up some awakenings. Oh no, the day 2. Excuse me. You knew that you'd get the rate up on Idril. That is a really good shout. And did you pull her straight to A5 or did you have to use any soul stones?
Well, I pulled her like 3.
Nice. So
and
2 soul
she didn't
stones.
need the stones. I think I could have done 319 without her. I went and beefed her up because I was trying for 320.
I feel you. Yeah, that actually was something that happened with me. I decided I wasn't going to get 320 because I didn't have Maul. So I just kept her. I pulled 4 copies. I kept her at A3. Just to move along, you got Maul. Not to make it about myself, but that was my main guy I was hunting the whole time. How early on did you get him, and how many copies did you pull versus getting Awakenings through Soulstones?
I got him super early, and I think I only pulled 1 copy. So I knew that it was going to be a guild boss race. So I was pushing 219. I decided to dump everything in 219. So I put all my soul stones into him, knowing I would need him cheap for that 219 push.
I mean, that's a really good bet. For any viewer that doesn't understand, at A5 you get the -5 costs, and presumably that helped you cycle immensely, right?
Mainly in the A4, because like you'll see my gear is trash, to be very light about it. So I needed that. It's like penetration. It's like 5% penetration.
That's
I was
true,
literally swapping gear, trying to just one-shot stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Maul is, when it comes to AoE burst, he's completely unmatched among the epics. Really nice guy to pick up. And here's a good teachable moment for viewers, I think. You're saying your gear's bad, but like as I can see, you pulled off a full set. You have an ancient piece, another ancient piece here where you picked up crit damage. I think a lot of people, you did run Broken Sun on the left, but I think a lot of people lose sight of like when how much gear you have to farm, because I don't disagree that this gear isn't mind-blowing, but a lot of people don't get this in a month or 2 months or even 3 months because I think they underrate the gear grind. Do you want to speak to how much you think you grinded gear A2 or gear A3 and so on?
I grinded a ton of gear A3. Click on the right side, like just the top piece.
Sure.
And like that's look at the ancient. This is kind of like the gear in getting a seed. Like I got very little good pieces. No Infernal Roar piece is good, and I grind a lot. So I mean, it's one of those things where, like on my main, I dropped 4K gems in this last Gear A3 tournament and got like 10 ancients. I mean, you have to grind so much gear. People that are newer don't understand, and we still have friends that play with us that were like chewing them all the time. I can't get further in grind gear. Yeah, that's our answer every time.
It's a really disappointing answer, I think, for a lot of players, but people are like, I'm unlucky with gear. And I'm like, quite frankly, the quantity you have to do, there's no luck involved. You just need to grind gear. As soon as you can, start the game, and the game is just gear grinding. I think a lot of us will probably agree with that. To recap, did you 3-star all the 19s?
Yes.
That's excellent. That'll definitely be a topic later on. Any other key pulls you think we should key in on? You can see you got your A5 Laurel. That is humongous.
I pulled Laurel super late. So 319 is definitely not needed.
For sure.
I found that out. 219, I had to have her because Maul has a really long time to his ult, even fully booked. The other pull that was the funny one, if you scroll down and look at my greed's A1. I actually pulled a greed on day 27. Mm-hmm. By the time I pulled him, it wasn't worth 6-starring.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I never soulstoned my greed. I only got him for free on day 28, and I immediately 6-starred him. And I did use him for 119, but quite frankly, I was only using him to not feel stupid because I did not need him. But
the Dallin I pulled super late too.
Okay.
Actually, I would have gotten Micah if I hadn't fed. I had to feed the other guys to level some stuff because I couldn't have leveled her to 6, or couldn't have got her to 6-star anyways.
Gotcha.
In the time frame, but I used, if you scroll down, I used what's her face for the. There's one other thing I'll show you. So, who's the rare generator?
Oh, sure. Narvi, you mean?
Narvi, yes.
But you
I
have to
use
crunch
Narvi
her
pretty heavily. And
oh no, who's she? Sorry.
So look at her gear. She's actually for 219. I put her and like pointed her towards the mobs coming in, and I got 2 ults off before boss comes out the first time. And that helped a ton. Actually reset her. The other thing is go to defenders.
Sure.
Look at who's 6-starred, and that'll be kind of a surprise for some people.
Oh yeah, it's a 6-star Dagna. Yeah, I think that's a really smart choice actually.
So Dagna, to actually 3-star 219, boss hits her for like 95%. So I was able to get her out at the last second, put both healers on her, and she would get hit to like 5%, and then they'd heal her up 5. Every single swing did that. So, but it was actually a really cool way to get it in.
Yeah, no question. I mean, just for me personally, I was very lucky to get a Solda, but in my original plan in my head was like, I'm going to have 6-star Dagna because it's so key. I feel like PvE Northerners are huge, and if you pick up any strength there to go with like the Mari you'll get for free, you obviously eventually get Dagna for free and stuff. Certainly, and obviously Olag, it's kind of huge. Any final, you want to like the biggest success or biggest challenge or biggest anything? You actually are the one of us 5 that didn't record a Nightmare Force score. Was that just by choice or?
I'll be totally honest with you. Once I realized that other people were dropping 219, I didn't have the gear and I was salty, and I'm like, screw it, I'm done. My best run was 5,200, I think it was 45. I got the shield to
the second shield.
Like the second shield to like 10%. I would have been second if I could have found that 10%, and I got sick of trying.
I feel you.
And logged it. So it is what it is. It was a grind, and I got ground out, and I was good with that.
What do you think these will be my last 2 questions for you, and thank you so much for sharing your experience in your account. What do you think was like the luckiest thing that happened to you on your account?
So whenever I hit the stuff for Abomination on like day 10.
Wow.
So that's obvious. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know if it was day 10. It may have been like I think it was day 7 or 8. That was by far the luckiest.
That's pretty huge. And just to tell people, like, part of the reason I mean, obviously it's natural we would want Abomination. He's one of the 4, but quite frankly 3, because in it was impossible legendaries we could get. But like, look at these base stats. They are just colossal, and compared to any epic, it's so huge because like you're pulling off a very mid, let's be honest. I mean, you've clearly farmed hard for it, Soulbound Arcana set, but it looks crazy just because his stats are just through the roof. So like, really well done.
So with the gear I used him as a tank at one point. I got him with mediocre Guardian gear to 100k. That's what's crazy about his stats. And I mean, it wasn't the good set. The good set was on Olag. So he got to 100k HP like it was nothing.
For perspective, Olag has good stats for a defender, and he's coming in at 21.3 on HP, and Abomination has the second highest HP in the game. So there you go.
Hit the quick change. Hit the quick change and click on Dagna, because I think she was actually the one that had the good gear.
Sure, let's check it out. With Dagna and Olag, you're saying? Oh no, throw this onto Abomination. Got it. Yeah, give me one moment.
Yeah,
and then I'll just pick a quick piece for you. Let's see. Let's do what kind of? Let's throw this. That's a very nice piece. Yeah, I mean, look at this, guys. Look at that build, and somehow coming out of it with still 9,200 attack. No attack speed, but still, this is really impressive stuff. The final question I want to ask you, Andrew. What would you say was like the best decision you made? Like, obviously you had some luck, but obviously you clearly knew what you were doing. What do you think what was the thing you think that set you up for the most success?
I went for, I think I had bad luck with the gear drops, but I went all my 6 stars. I did not care about Guild Boss. I went straight for Gear Rate 3.
Nice. Yeah.
And we got it pretty early. Having to pull for Dolores hurt quite a bit, and then I just didn't get the drops.
Yeah. And that's a real thing, because I think you'll happily admit this. Without Dolores, there's no top 5 for you. Yeah. She was, I think, a pretty hard requirement. Again, guys, because I think this will come out as a video on YouTube. If you think you got the highest score without Dolores, I really want to know. I would love to get in touch with that person, because honestly, part of me wishes I never got Dolores just to see what that experience would be like. Any final thoughts, Andrew, before we move right along?
Oh, it was a fun contest. I mean, it definitely had some RNG with it. I think you could. I mean, there's ways to play that RNG and try to do your best. And I had a blast. It was a fun change with all the delays happening with the update, because I've got a main account that I absolutely love. I love this game. So it's been a little slow and boring, and it was a nice change. Gonna be busy.
Yeah, it's I'll be honest, August was something I had in my mind, just because I feel like August people are on, like, there's a bunch of bank holidays, and before kids go to school, especially in the States, everyone's going on vacation. So I figured it would be a bad month. I did not know it would be a completely barren month. So I think it worked to our challenge's advantage for sure.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Any of you guys, Dani, Hantuyx, Bingo, have any thoughts about Andrews, or what are we thinking?
I like that his Dolores are the full in Big Saturn.
Have what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I fully big set.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. What a build, man.
So because I could auto 219, I ran and I upgraded something. So she's got like 11.5 in Vig.
Yeah. In my recap video, I was so proud of my Dolores with 11.3 in Glacier. This is a whole nother level. That is fantastic. Great job, man.
So I was pushing 320. That's why I farmed it, because I was trying to push 320 with her. I needed her and Vig on to get here, and it just didn't happen. But
that's awesome. Okay, I really appreciate it, and I've got to say it's the right thinking, right? I don't see how someone's getting 320 without a little invig or just completely blessed gear luck and summons luck and only epics. Especially since starting at 320, Micah's not helping. Abomination, I guess he could take hits.
I was pretty close, actually. I was one mob away from clearing 320.
Well, hey, that's a perfect transition because we're about to move over to your account. Let's work on that login, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we are here now on 4th place on Danny's account. I believe for a while leading at the very beginning, because I mean we briefly just discussed how well your start went. Really amazing performance. Right before we move over to you, I want to say I am going to make my donation. You know, a nice handful of us pledged money just towards the prize pool pot, towards the charity at the beginning, like some even before the contest started, like me and Dastry and Ivy. So I'm going to donate $100 right now. I don't know if that will pop up on stream, but let's see it go through. It's loading. Cool. I think that worked. There we go. Fastidious donated $100 to support lung cancer. Fantastic. Yeah, and if anybody else even like a buck, again, all this money goes straight to charity. Danny, where would you like to begin on this amazing account of yours?
You mentioned that I was first for a while at the beginning.
Yeah.
7 days into the challenge, there was a huge forest fire in Greece. And since then, I don't have internet connection. I play with a mobile data since then.
Oh, wow.
So basically,
That's
had
crazy.
lag issues, disconnect issues all the time.
Dang, that's really unfortunate.
That kept me back a while, but I was able to push the last few days.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's a tragic real life circumstance. We appreciate you still trying to participate in the challenge and quite frankly doing so freaking well. Just taking a quick peek at this account, some amazing epics hearted right off the bat. You pulled a Deimos, you got A1 Baron, you obviously got Laurel, which is just monumental. I'm actually seeing everything. You got Iona, you got Maul, you got Hollow. Who didn't you pull? Should we start there?
I was late to pull what's his name, Vortex. I was late to pull Baron, and I was really late to pull Laurel. Gotcha. I pulled like 2 days before the challenge end.
Gotcha. Do you think was there one epic you never pulled that you kind of were hoping for, or just with this amount of stellar epics you kind of felt good by the end?
I didn't have an issue with anything, to be honest. The only problem that I faced was that I Soulstone Wrath to push Guild Boss score, but then when I saw your score with Micah and the other people's score, I realized that I was not able to beat your guys' score.
Yeah.
And I had to push 320. And the bad choice was Soulstoning Wrath.
Gotcha. Where do you think you would have put that? Onto a Deimos or something, or you were over Guild Boss at that point? Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to put on Brienne, to be honest.
On Brienne, yeah. The A3 is definitely good. The A1, guys, if you don't know, is just game breaking. Her ult just goes up a whole nother level, just 30% penetration, ignoring the defense on the ult. But the extra damage from her passive, super strong as well. Who were your MVP heroes? I'm seeing you did snag that Estrid. You got Maul. There's a lot of amazing heroes. Who did you find to be just your absolute key?
The MVP hero was Idril. Idril, to be honest.
Yeah.
I pulled her as my first marksman. I sold 4 epics right away to get the Soulstone from the store the first day.
Yeah.
And then I pulled her twice on the banner, and I Soulstone her the last A5.
Fantastic. Yeah, having her A5 is so strong. Really awesome account. Any gear you want us to key in on? Or I mean, this looks like a very, very strong Infernal Roar set.
I had to use my strongest gear on her for 320. I wasn't crit cap, so I had to restart a lot of the attempts to reach to the point where I had 2 mobs left to kill.
Yeah. Dang, that is so close. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, wasn't keeping up, Danny, you got as far as killing the boss on 320, right? And just a couple guys would sneak through.
I was at the end. I was always left with 2 guys passing through, and my best attempt was one guy at 15% HP and Idril's ulti ended basically before. the mob passport.
That's like heartbreakingly close. That's really excellent. Would you say this is your best DPS gear?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of bad. I was the second person in the challenge to clear that 119.
Yeah.
And my left side gear is terrible. I had really bad luck with left side gear.
Yeah, I think actually left side gear, underrated moment of luck for some accounts versus bad luck for others. Like for me, I did, when I first got 118, I farmed it for maybe a day or two pretty aggressively, but I kind of never farmed it again and just was able to pick up enough from the gear dungeons. Ton of RNG there though, because I'm assuming like me and kind of like Andrew, and I assume the other guys kind of have to go heavy for the right side to get those big bonuses and stuff, and your crit damage, your attack bonus, right? It looks like you really focus on gear 8-3. Yeah.
I spent like so much time in 9 gems.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, another through line through these accounts. We're gonna see just a ton of people. I would assume all of us just kind of went just boring farming for some huge day stretch. Clearly, you did that here with gear 8-3, right?
Yeah, I should probably take the Liam's gear. It's actually pretty nice.
Liam's gear, yeah, let's head over that. While I head over to Liam, I want to thank Mana, who just donated $10 to the Lung Cancer Research Foundation. Thank you so much, and thank you to Dassery before. Cannot remember if I remembered that. Also, big shout out to Mana for performing so freaking well in this competition, coming in at number 6, and also putting up a just gargantuan, the number 2 guild boss score for Nightmare 4. Really impressive, and from what I understand, the best, even better than mine, I didn't know because he wasn't in my guild, the best guild boss 2 score out of everybody, over 4,000, where I was like 10 away from 4,000. Really good stuff. All right, let's check out this Liam you got. Yeah, this ain't bad at all. Look at 76% rage regen with 592 attack speed. My gosh, great job, dude. And even got some respectful HP. This is quite the build. So was he was cooking when you were doing your 320 attempts?
Yes. He was like the keeper.
Yeah, I mean, this is so fast with still getting the tankiness you need and the rage regen. And I will say, this is something I discovered on my main, or not even on my main, when I was doing a takeover after this challenge, never knowing what artifact to even bother putting on Liam. Ichor Chalice, the heals are not based on damage. It's based on just dealing any amount of damage. So pretty huge getting that 3% restore if you're trying to keep him alive, especially deeper into those battles, I imagine. So really nice stuff. How did your artifact luck go, would you say? This looks pretty strong.
Pretty bad luck with Idril's Gate, but really good luck with Sharpshooter Crest.
At least you got it. I never got a single one in like 100 pulls.
On my second craft ever, the first day I got Tear of Twilight.
Wow, really? So who is that hiding? Yeah. Is that on your Iona or? Yeah, yes, look at that. Wow.
Naked, I think.
Really good stuff. So pretty nice things we're looking at. You went broken set on your Dolores, but looks like just a ton of attack. The highest we've seen so far, obviously not counting Invig bonuses or Glacier bonuses, 11-8. Super good stuff. Maxed out Keen Wisdom. Any final bit of heroes or gear you want to talk about before we just get into the broader questions?
I'm happy with my gear farm.
Yeah, awesome.
I had a lot of summons though done on this account. I had like 760 or something.
760. Let's see.
760, yeah, I think.
All right, 783. So, yeah, we're all kind of in that range, right? I think I'm right about 720. I think Andrew was at 690 or about 780. So, I mean, you have to get lucky in your summons, but you also have to do a nice handful, at least so far from what we've seen. What do you think was your luckiest moment? Do you think it was just like that insta snag of Iona early on with all those Idrils as well?
Yeah, that was the luckiest moment for sure.
How hard did she carry you, especially like that first week?
She was pretty impressive in the campaign and the gear 8-1.
Yeah.
But other than that, she wasn't very helpful.
I would imagine, though, once you got Ein and you had like an epic lord for her, you could get some pretty impressive AoE damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice stuff. And then finally, what do you think what decision did you make that you think was the strongest? Because you had a lot of luck, but obviously you were doing an incredible job as well. Like, is there a moment where you thought you really made the right choice and you really went well for you?
The right choice I made was the pushing 320, but I didn't make it, so...
Yeah, if you had gone that, you would have just ran away with the whole thing, and you got so freaking close, man.
It was pretty close.
Yeah. While I was doing my 219 push, you were updating us in chat with your 320 push, and I'm like, dang, this isn't even going to be worth it. He's just going to run away. So impressive.
I was trying it for 4 hours or 5 hours.
Yeah, I mean I think that's the grind, and I would guess a lot of us would say the same thing. Like, we got lucky summons, we went way too hard farming gear, but you needed to do that, and then there are moments where you still have to be good enough at the game and tweaking stuff and min-maxing to grind out for however many hours. You know, for anyone that watched my 318 push, I think that was 8 hours long to finally 3-star it. So awesome job, Dani. This is fantastic.
Thanks. Congrats on your win.
I appreciate it. Definitely want to keep it about you guys, though, because it's super duper awesome stuff. Any of you guys, Andrew, Hantuyx, Bingo, want to add anything here, or shall we move right along?
I just want to say he's got some awesome heroes on that account. Could probably do really well if
I was about to say that's a good account.
I think we can all
most
agree.
Of my epics, actually. I
What'd you
crunched Ein, I crunched a lot of heroes.
Who did you crunch?
Ein,
Oh, wow.
then some other epics, I don't remember.
I actually would be interested. So when you were doing your last day push, you started crunching a lot of guys?
Yes, to push the guild boss score. I had to 6-star Abomination, I had to 5-star Daimos, and then when I saw your guys' score and I did like an hour or 2 hours of attempts, I couldn't push it that much. So basically, I crunched my epics for no reason. And yeah.
But then you refocus onto gear. Then you were like, to win, you needed 320.
I focused to 320, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I should have asked you that, Andrew. Did you do any last crunching at the end?
I don't think so. I did to push 219. I did for Dagna. That was and then I didn't have to crunch for 320 because I was just farming gear for 320.
Definitely like a very good, very interesting strat. I'll just say for me personally, the only person I crunched was Liam, just to 6-star my Vladov towards the end for the guild boss push. Because in my head, and we'll talk about this at the very end, I would love to continue this and keep it going in some way. I've got a bunch of ideas. More on that later, though. Thank you so much, Dani. Really quick, does anyone think they had luckier pulls than Dani? You have every hero that I was wanting the whole challenge.
No, I don't think I got to that level. I got pretty close, but no, there's a few there that I didn't manage to get.
Yeah, this is pretty optimal stuff. I will say, lacking a touch of epic lord luck, but aside from that, I think you hit every like top hero except maybe Gluttony, but he would be lower down on the food chain. So, well done, Dani.
I got only blues from my ancient summons. I didn't get a single epic from the ancients. So
yeah. I mean, dude, ancients were
really lucky.
Ancients required so much luck. Like, I got one epic from Ancients in the whatever 20 we did, but couldn't have been luckier. I got Vladov, right? So it's just really, a lot of this was a crapshoot. And again, at the end, when we talk about if we move forward with this or ideas for future challenges that I definitely want to do, I'd love to know if any of you guys, and we'll save it to the end, have ideas how to make it less RNG based. Because obviously, I think we all did a really good job, but we all are having pretty immense degrees of luck. And I'm sure the people that didn't pull, Dolores and so on and Hollow are definitely feeling some jealousy, or at least frustration that it didn't go that way for them. Thank you so much, Dani. We're going to go on now to Hantuyx. Are you ready, my man?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
All right, my man. The highest account level we have seen so far, account level 61. Crazy stuff. Over only 1 million BP, though, which makes me think maybe there was some efficient crunching at the end or just very streamlined stuff. I say only 1 million. That's really good, obviously. Where would you like to start? Any key heroes you want to key in on, or should I just click through at my leisure?
I mean, yeah, just click through. The main hero that carried me, probably Estrid, making her A3 helped to make progressing through a lot of stuff a lot easier. She doesn't have any gear on right now, but
yeah, I didn't A3 my Estrid till like 2 hours left in my playing of the competition. I did it strictly for guild boss, and the second I did it, the change it makes getting these double hit chances, it's pretty immense, right?
Oh yeah, it's huge. I did it a couple weeks before to help progress through Ear Dungeon 2. Managed to get through stage 4.
Wow.
After doing that.
Did anyone beat that stage 4 of GD2?
And then actually a day after the challenge ended, I beat 5.
Wow. Crazy stuff. Any of the other guys, did anybody do better than that? I only did stage 2 and called it a day.
I didn't show a single key there. I was away for almost a week just playing on my phone the last week. So I didn't play Gear Dungeon at all.
Fair enough.
Stage 2 for me.
Stage 2 for
Stage
you.
2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I got
dang. That is.
Well, I couldn't get anywhere close to that.
Yeah,
that
4
is
impressive.
That is so impressive, dude. And that you just beat 5 too. Bravo. Maybe we should connect about making a video on that. That's really well done. Awesome stuff. I just want to say you're the first one without any fused hero, so you didn't get Abomination or Micah. You think that was hurting you, or if we look, the quality of these epics is pretty dang high. Did you feel pretty good?
Yeah, I felt good. The only part I would have needed Abomination for was the final guild boss. I couldn't clear the second shield, and I like this account. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I still playing it, so I didn't want to crunch my one vortex to get him.
Feel you. Yeah. That's one thing that gave me sanity is like I literally never pulled vortex, so I never had to deal with the dilemma. That must be kind of torturous, especially because I want to continue my account too, and it's like, how can you give up on vortex? You know?
Yeah. I'll get another one eventually, hopefully, that I can do it with. But Estrid was able to do pretty much everything that Abomination could do.
Yeah, but she is a legendary in disguise, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of funny because I've got my main account, which has like 8,000 or so summons, and that one doesn't have Estrid. So.
I'm gonna be just throw on the tinfoil hat. I think on newer accounts she has juice rates. The amount I'm seeing her lately when I do summons on newer accounts, the amount of people that got her in this epic challenge. Like I've done over 12,000 summons on my main account. I've pulled her once ever, besides when she was rated up with Gwendolyn, but last Christmas. Pretty crazy. We all got her. Andrew, you didn't have her, right?
No, I did not have her. But
Bingo, I'm assuming you do.
No, I don't.
You don't. Okay, so 3 of the 5 of us. And then definitely we would seeing, especially when the challenge started, a lot of people mentioning her. She ties for the or at least historically she tied for the rarest. Obviously the rates, we don't know what they are since last March. But yeah, pretty crazy. And I'll tell you, as someone who got her like on day 3 or something, she is so strong. It's truly crazy. And the hard thing in this challenge, and I'd love to hear what you think about it, Hantuyx, is like scaling is exceptionally difficult just because these epics have such low stats. Like Raiden, like he was one of my main guys, but even when I was lucky enough to get him A2, it's like 3,350 attack or whatever, right? But Estrid just casual 5160 with the highest of any epic.
Yeah. That's another thing I noticed. I didn't know about that before, but I was like, that seems like a ridiculous amount of attack.
It's
way more
crazy
than any I have.
Yeah, it's like her, and then Voroth is number 2, but his multipliers make it insignificant. But she's got everything, and she's got the defense break, which just makes that feel even higher. Yeah, Voroth is somewhere between 5,000 and 5,100, and then I believe it's Wrath at almost 49. Wow, what a build on Wrath! Should we talk about this? This is like a war crime. What the heck? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's
I think
good. Yes.
This is probably the best. Does anyone think they had a single hero with a more refined build than this?
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
I thought my Micah build was good, and I would switch between her and Idril, but I still have to use a crit rate Bangle with Infernal Roar. You're rocking 17-4 attack on Wrath, cutting the attack interval in half with 549 attack speed, crit capped, and 277. This is the build of the tournament. If anyone watching in the future, any viewers in chat right now thinks they have this beat, DM us. But this is bravo, dude. This is shocking.
Yeah, it's a crazy set. Luckily, the only bad part of the set is that the chest piece, I think, doesn't have crit rate, but on Wrath, luckily, it doesn't matter.
True. Yeah. This build
other than that,
I'm in chat right now. Sorry, how many people think they don't even have a build this good on their main account in chat? Because there's definitely this is bravo, dude. This might be the thumbnail.
And then also he's got a Wailing Skull on, I think.
Crazy.
I pulled 2 of those.
Congrats. I just pulled my first Wailing Skull this morning, so too little too late. That's amazing. Yeah. He must have been wrecking for you in Guild Boss with this build.
Yeah. With this build, I also have another Soulbound set, which was really good, and him and Estrid were about the same. I don't know where.
Do you know where that other set is hiding right now? I guess I can click and find it. Give me 1 sec. It looks like it's on Drogo.
Oh, it's on Drogo, yeah.
Maybe a good moment. We haven't talked about Drogo yet, who I'll give a shout out to chat, to another creator who even came on generously mentioning to try him. He was on my list of heroes to try, but definitely had me try him earlier. How impressive is he, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even know Drogo existed before the challenge. And I only knew because I saw other creators using him, so I was like, oh, I guess I can use him to do stuff. But yeah, he was able to do pretty much everything that I needed him to do. Even though his stats aren't that high, but they're good, just good enough. Yeah, basically the only thing that his multipliers are beyond through the roof. Like he's like in terms of just multipliers, he's like better than Maul. His attack is non-existent, as everyone can see. Looks like here you're running him even at 5 stars, and I'm assuming that's because you ran him with Dolores. No, he was able to take care of the left side
on
just
319.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
with
on
a
the
different
second
build.
Wave, maybe slightly different, but on the left side, he was on the left side, and I did put a autumn to clear the second wave.
So you probably went lower on the crit rate because this amount of attack can't do the left side alone. Yeah.
Actually, he probably had the wraths set.
Gotcha. Really well done. I mean, so I think, again, not to like be so pedantic and beat a dead horse, but just because part of this, I want to like teach some viewers how mindlessly and constantly were you farming 319?
I don't know. Let me think. It was probably like 10 or so days straight of putting every single gem I got into it.
Yeah. And that's it, right? Like literally no pulls for you, no other content. I'm assuming bare minimum, maybe a little arena maintenance, guild boss maintenance, and just 319 till you were blue in the face.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually go check my summons because I don't know how many of those I did, but I kind of stopped after like 2 weeks in. I didn't use any gems anymore.
Oh, there it was. Yeah, 695. So we're all in the exact same range, right? We're all within 100 so far. And I think you made an assessment. I made the assessment. It sounds like everyone else did. Like you reach a point where you're like, all right, I think this at least gives me a shot. Let's move on, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got Estrid. I think after I got Maul, I stopped pulling. I was like, that's good enough. I probably don't really need anyone else. And then after that, like the only useful heroes I got was Raiden from Ancients, but
hell of a pull though. It's so underrated now that I've had so much experience with him.
Frankly, I didn't really use him much. I kind of used Navras for everything. Yeah, and then I just 6-starred him yesterday.
Sweet. I think if you're gonna keep playing and you want to try it for sheer AOE, unless you're gonna get your Navras like A3 plus, for me Raiden was on a whole nother level.
Okay.
Yeah. If you can, once you get him max skilled, the consistency, because when he's at base, I think maybe this is why he gets a bad rap. These things are super low, right? Like let's do the skill cost is all the way up at 600, so that's high, but in a low, bad performing way. And then the duration's at 5 seconds. When you get it maxed out, the skill cost is 400 and the duration's 10 seconds. So it really is just he's literally double the hero he starts as, if not better, because the duration's longer and it's way cheaper. He blew me away. Any other like key MVPs we should key in on, or should we go a little broader?
No, I don't think so. I mean, mostly it was just Estrid. Yeah. And then everyone else.
I don't know if you watched my recap video yesterday. I released it pretty late, but basically what I said is I could have done this well if I had a couple other heroes and got rid of Estrid, but if I kept all my heroes equal and got rid of Estrid, there was no shot in hell. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. Because if I got Abomination instead, probably still could have done about the same.
But if we kept exactly this roster, subtract Estrid, it's a whole different experience, I think.
Oh, yeah, entirely. Wouldn't have been as much fun. Wouldn't have got nearly as far.
Yeah, I don't think, especially with the low attack levels on these epics, the defense break is just immense.
Yep.
Even if the uptime literally drives me insane. Even at A3. So let's zoom out. What do you think was your luckiest moment? Your lucky early pull, or lucky, what was your big break?
Well, obviously Estrid early was really lucky, but like in the gear foundry where you forge new gear, I got a variant weapon, which I didn't even know that was possible. On my main, I've done way more than that, and I never got any of those. So that was probably the luckiest moment I had.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I've only have one on my entire account. I'm assuming we all have one. I'm talking about my main account now, but I'm assuming we all have at least one on our epic, because there's that scripted one you get somewhere in the gear dungeons, which I'm assuming one of these is. But yeah, crafting another, that's so exciting. The pretty amazing special effects too. Little groundswell, and then an additional attack, especially for an epic where we're dying for base stats. 400. I mean, let me just quickly, sorry to be again pedantic, but it's over a 10% boost off of base attack. That's wild. Nice stuff. Look at this build. This is great. Amazing. And then what would you say was like the best decision you made? Like the key moment where you think you nailed it?
Let me think. I don't really know. I guess pushing Gear Dungeon 2 probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
I ended up getting like 2 or 3 ancients from that, variants, so that ended up helping quite a bit.
Friggin' disturbs me, man. I've gotten one ancient and one variant from the gear dungeons, having max stage 10 farm them on my main over the past 3 months between both of them. It's brutal out here.
My main account doesn't get the luck this one does either on that.
Look at that, another variant. with another beautiful special effect.
And then there's another variant. There's the one that Idril has.
Oh, let's find it. Is it a breastplate?
No, it's a bangle.
Another bangle. Wow, another one, yeah. Plus 200 attack. Yeah. I mean, you're cooking, man. You might. I think you have the best gear out of everybody so far. We'll see if Bingo beats you. You definitely have better gear than me, and I thought I did pretty good. This is awesome stuff. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I got super lucky with it.
Lucky, but like you said, 10 straight days of farming. I did like 6. Also constant normal farming, but 6 days of mindless loser farming, right? And that's the grind, right? We kind of
the worst part is when you run out of the auto fights. You just gotta sit there, click it over and over and over and over.
I did 8,400 stamina worth of artifact material raid from day 29 into day 30. Got nothing out of those artifacts out of the 71 summons I did, but I ran out of auto battles pretty quickly, so that I started my stream so late that day because the whole time I was doing my whatever I was up to, working or not working, the whole day I was just clicking on the side. I bet you a lot of us experienced that, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Any of you other three have final thoughts about Hantuyx, or shall we wrap things up with Bingo, perhaps our true winner?
I said that the Wrath gear was crazy.
Crazy, huh? No one has a better build than this, right? We're all gonna agree.
Nah, yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's shocking. Like this build sure, it doesn't look that good because of the crit damage, whatever. You put this build on a real legendary hero, maybe with some awakenings, this is like an endgame build. Brilliant. Amazing stuff. What were you gonna say, Andrew?
I was gonna say if we're gonna say Dani had the nutso pulls, then Hun had the nuts gear drops, because that's some insane gear.
Really
that's
is
some insane gear for like 3 months.
That's the same gear for some accounts. I guarantee you, someone will tell us there's someone that's playing for a year and doesn't have gear like this. That's amazing. Get on that gear grind, guys. There's no other way to do it. It's all about quantity of. You need some luck, but you really just need to, just give up on the fun parts of the game sometimes and just farm. You can't just summon forever. I will say that's a fun part of the epic challenge, right? It's like you can't be too seduced by summons, because at some point, especially if you're lucky and you're like, all right, these are good enough heroes, like we're over it. Especially if we continue, I think for a lot of us, there's no more not very, very limited summoning in the future, let's say. Any final thoughts here, Bingo, or shall we head right over to yours?
No, I think I was just going to say the same as everybody else. The Wrath build is absurd, and I'm very jealous of it.
It's really beautiful, man. Great job, Hantuyx. That's really sweet, man. Yeah. And I got to say one last time, gear raid. I know you did it. So you said 1 day later or something, day 31 or something. Gear raid 5, Gear Dungeon 2, stage 5 is maybe the most impressive feat I've heard so far. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and also I did do a Void Rift Hard. I know quite a few other people did that too.
Yeah, I heard a few people did it. Personally, part of me I didn't even attempt it just because I was kind of rushing. Part of me regrets that, but also there's only so many hours in the day, and it was pedal to the metal,
Yep.
But bravo, really good stuff. All right, we are in on our final account, number 2 in the Epic Challenge, from the UK, I presume, based on the accent, Bingo?
Yeah, England.
Awesome stuff. And then let's just say, Andrew, you're American. It sounds like Hantuyx as well. Dani, where are you from?
I'm from Greece.
From Greece. Amazing. So some Greek representation. It's a very nice multicultural international event. Let's get the fun stuff out of the way, right? Someone commented on my recap saying maybe you're the true winner. I'm all for that. I don't care. For anyone who doesn't know, I didn't 3-star 219, and I think this is kind of my fault. I never specified you had to. I just said we would base it all on the best record picture. But if we want to crown you true winner or make that retroactive, to me, I promise it doesn't matter. What are your thoughts on the matter, Bingo?
No, I mean, I think we went in with the rules of just best records. What I will say is, if you look at that, I'd made that Nightmare 4 score like a few hours after the competition ended, and I was absolutely kicking myself for that one.
Oh my god.
I locked in on bringing Vortex the whole time to Guild Boss because my Hollow's only 5-star. And I don't know why I didn't even try it. And then I tried it after it ended because I saw you did it with just a Hollow. And I was like, I'll give it a go. And I smashed through the shield, and I was like, oh, what have I done with that?
Crazy. So you did this towards the start of day 31, you got that score.
Yeah, well, day 30 for me, because I was 1 day behind.
Wow.
On the thing, yeah.
Crazy. Well, hey, we can let people debate it. I don't mind.
No, I think I'm happy to say that you won it. I think it was a great event. I had a lot of fun. You know, and there's lots of people could have won it a different way. Like Dani was super close with the 320 and everything, and like I just think, you know, I'm happy with what I got. This is my only account. This is the furthest I've ever got. So
this is your only account?
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Like can you speak to that? How did you like, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to look in 1 second. You were super duper lucky as well. Like all of us were, right? But like to know how to do all this stuff and min max stuff to like eventually beat my nightmare score. Now I kind of want to go back and set one even higher. That's pretty crazy. Sure, I only have one other account, but I've probably played on 800 accounts or something, or 600, you know, over 500 accounts. How did you do this as your first account?
So, no, it's not my first account. It's my only one that I've got. So I did play the game, like, when it came out at the start, I was playing it on and off until, I think it was the Captain Reeve banner. And I'd never beaten 18s, and I kind of blew loads of summons trying to get him. And I just murdered my whole account, just, like, putting everything into trying to get this.
Was this the rerun of the Reeves banner, or this was, like, last?
The first one.
The first one, wow.
Yeah. And then I kind of like killed the account and I just got stepped away from the game. And I just watch it every now and again. Like I watch some of your videos, I watch some other people's videos because I do like it. And I saw you doing the challenge and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come back and I'll give it a go.
It's a nice way to get you back into the game.
Yeah, but I haven't played it for a very long time.
It's really something, dude. You start a day earlier, the day has 3 more hours in it, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, you guys debate it all you want. You can, in my heart, you'll be my champion. How about that? If you want to let me be yours, you can be mine. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would take that. We could make each other champion.
Yeah, and what I will say, we're going to do, whether an extension of this challenge or some other challenge, there's a lot more to come in the future. So definitely, please continue. You know, like whether it be this account or next one, we can go head to head again and see. And maybe this time you really run away with it. Let's take a look here. So you got that score without Micah, so to me, the reason I think I won, again, not to make it about me, but we have to have some kind of foil. Yeah, for me, it was Micah. Like I was able to get a good Infernal Roar set together, and she shredded that shield for me. So once I figured out the timings, I could consistently, for anyone who watched the stream, by the end there, every time I was breaking the second shield. So then it was like, how much can I min-max this? I set the number of 9K. I was like, once we get 9K, we're good. It's very cool to see this kind of performance. Granted, of course, you have Abomination. What a stud.
Yeah.
Where should we focus? Gear-wise, heroes-wise, what's on your mind?
So I think probably like gear-wise, Wrath and Norvros probably have... I've got 2 Soulbound sets.
This ain't bad, though. So here you're like me, badass looking set, like my best set on my account, but we had to both rock that crit rate bangle. Not everybody can be on 2EX.
Yeah, I know, and I honestly, my rings as well, for the whole gear raid farm, I didn't get a single ring in the set. Both of the ones I've got, I ascended, because it became mind-numbing trying to get to finishing a set.
This is a key
wisdom ring, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna ascend it.
Not to interrupt, but to just again, to make this broader, to try to teach people some things. This is a key thing. People are always asking me when to use their Ascension materials, when to elevate a Wisdom piece to Soulbound or an Insight piece to Infernal Roar, Calamity to Warlord, so on. There's really 2 times to do it, in my opinion. This initial progression when you're going through the game and it's like, yeah, having a freaking set, right, is game changing. It looks like you have 2 of them, and that's on the back of Ascension. That is game changing for progression. It's a inefficiency of a brief blip of inefficiency that leads to so much more efficiency after the fact, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I beat 119 just like after ascending that ring,
like almost instantly.
Yeah, I put it on Norvros, and I managed to beat 119 like within half an hour or something.
Yeah, bravo. And then the other thing I'd say, never do it again until the very, till your late game or end game, and it's going to strictly, or along your journey, if you just get that awesome piece, do it. But for me, it's just like, just only do Wisdom, because Soulbound's still broken and way too overpowered, and only do it when you hit those perfect pieces just to get as many Soulbound sets as possible. That would be my advice. But when people are so hesitant, and this was me when I started playing, to do anything early game, I never had a full Soulbound set for like my first 2-3 months playing because I was such a little miser about it, you know? But this is what you should do, in my opinion. So bravo.
Yeah, it really pushed me on. Like I said, it got me 119, and it got me a few other bits as well.
Like, here's an example. Like, a piece like this, an early ascension on a piece like this, when this is already an endgame piece, never doubt it. Just bravo, right? Like, it's something, like, just pedal to the metal, do it. Beautiful looking gear. This Navras build is another contender. What a wacky build. You got this, this epic over 14k attack, a mage. Slightly light on the attack speed, but still good enough. And then just crazy stats here. And it looks like, you have some...
Yeah, I was going to say, I kind of noticed my attack speed on most of my heroes is super low. I was like looking through your accounts. I didn't really, as I said, I don't really know 100% what I'm doing. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. And I didn't quite realize how much attack speed would make a difference on some of these heroes.
It's always a balancing act. So like people just ignore attack speed. The amount of, like, when I do early game takeovers and people just, their attack speed is like 150. It's crazy. Because quantity of hits is quantity of damage. So you need the sweet spot of, like, where whatever damage you're giving up on, you're making up for with instances of damage. It's you can calculate it, or you can just kind of feel it out as you test things out over some things. For me, the sweet spot's always going to be like at least 300, 350 to 450 is usually plenty for any hero. But without a doubt, especially a hero like this, where his burst is completely contingent on just it happening, like that strength, that has nothing to do with attack speed. It's really a basic attack thing for building ult cost, building rage, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really well done. And you got an A5 Navras, which I definitely want to talk about. Really quick thing for anyone who thought this wasn't crit capped. At A1, when the talent's triggered, which is every 8 seconds, you get a crit rate boost for 6 seconds. So it's 75% uptime. You were crit capped. So that is more than enough. How did you get this A5? Did you fuse multiple copies? Did you pull a lot? What did you do?
Yeah, so I think I fused most of them. My first epic, I think, after my guaranteed one, was a Norvros. And I kind of had him early doors and was playing with him from the start. About midway through, I got him to A3 because it was the only way I could push Gear Raid 1. And then on the last day, when I was trying to do Guild Boss, I pushed him to A5 because
this is nice.
Just hit a little bit harder. And I was trying to get through that shield.
Yeah, for me, my Navras never left A0, and it was a Raiden thing very much for me. I'm trying to see if you have Raiden. It doesn't look like it, but I was always tempted because I was hearing from the community how strong the A3 was. Did you feel that just being able to hit more and hit in a wider range, did it make a really big instant boost?
Yeah, it got me. It was as I was trying to push 118, and I fused him to A3, and again, it just let me clear 118 pretty much straight away. It does make quite a big difference. He just hits. Wait, I don't know the exact maths on it, but he must hit close to double the amount of people as they come in on Gear Raid 1.
Yeah. Even if it's 33% more, I mean, it can often just be that much. You pick off one more person and it just kind of shifts where all the damage is directed, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Pretty great thing there. Cool to see you fuse that many. It's actually not as inefficient as I think some people feel, but definitely in a rush competition like this, it's something I was always toiling with. I want to point out one thing. So you've touched on two examples of the same idea twice. This is a philosophy I took into this challenge and I take into everything and try to teach people. So again, to zoom out, I'm assuming the other three guys, we all did it. For me, there was no soul stoning, no skilling up, no, I didn't fuse Navras, but if I had none of that until the moment where I felt like I had to do it. That was what would push you over the edge. And a good example is, you ascended those two pieces and you got your 119. You've fused the copy for A3. You got the 118, right? And I think, that's a really good philosophy. I think it's frustrating to do, but holding off on that until you feel like it actually is going to push you past that threshold, right?
Yeah, I think what I was trying to do is I only did things when it kind of answered a problem.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
My soul stones, I have not done as well as you. All of mine went into Wrath pretty much straight away without thought. And then when I pulled Greed, I just like Greed, so I started putting them all in there. And then I pulled a Deimos on on the last day of the challenge. And I'd burnt all my soul stones just throwing them at a Greed for basically no reason, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth.
Yeah. I gotta say, Chad is losing their mind over your legendaries, and I'd be remiss not to mention it. Obviously, you couldn't use any of these guys except for Volca and Abomination, but you didn't pull the worst legendary on your account is Salazar, and you have 2 legendary lords in Elo. Yeah. Wow, was that frustrating?
It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I didn't have a legendary lord on when I played before, And honestly, I pulled them, and I was like super happy. I've hoarded so many of the skill crystals and dust as well because if this challenge ended, I was like, I want to be able to use these guys and actually like.
It's pretty remarkable for normal legendaries. I mean, it's really these two. For me, it's these two guys and Leia. Aracha has the amazing Lord skill, but like this is cream of the crop stuff. You might be on a pretty god seed here. Let's actually look. You've got amazing epics as well. we'd have to mention that. We even pulled an Aeon, which is really sweet. I've got to say, I've noticed. I definitely had the epic Lord luck of our bunch, right? Like I pulled 3 epic Lords, and then 2 of those I kept pulling multiple copies. But that Aeon's pretty cool. Did you use her as a Lord for anything, or you went pretty heavy with this Nightmare?
I didn't really use her for much. It was like Wrath all the way, and then like either Ein or Dagna just for the bonus.
Mm-hmm. Cool stuff.
I couldn't really find a way to make her work with anything. I don't know if there's something I'm missing, but it just wasn't really adding anything.
She would have been pretty. She would have helped your one. I don't know when you got this crazy A5 greed we need to talk about, but she would have really boosted the healing from your Hollow in Gear Aid 1, and she would have been pretty crazy for someone like a Greed, or if somehow you had gotten Iona or something DPS wise. And she puts out a ton of vulnerability. She's kind of like Mari in a lot of ways. So that would have been fun for you, but you didn't need it clearly because you're absolutely cooking with these Nightmare units. Let's talk about Greed. How do you have an A5 Greed?
So I pulled a Wrath right at the start. That was actually probably one of the luckiest things I did, like off a random divine. So I had Wrath by, I think it was like day 2 or something, which meant him and Norvros were just sort of like chewing through everything early doors. And then I got a Soul Stone from the guild boss.
When you say him and Navros, you also pulled Greed early as well?
Oh, no. Sorry. I'm just saying that.
Oh, Wrath and Navros.
Wrath and Navros.
Got it.
And
okay.
then the Greed I pulled as like the free one at the 28. I had a Soul Stone from guild boss, and then I just had some others saved as well. I think I only got the A5 today, so it wouldn't have been in the challenge. I would have had 4.
A5 Greed in the challenge, like, I can't imagine, but there's probably a far outside shot with a really obsessive pushing that 120 could have been in your mind, I think, if you had gone.
That's what I was focusing on. I didn't realize how hard it was, the jump from 19 to 20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've never been this kind of late game before. I realize now 320 seems to be the push that most people were going for, and maybe I could have gone that way, but
well, I'll be honest, if we continue this, all of us are going to get 221 within a day or two. The second we get A1 Volcus, so that would be pretty crazy. But yeah, 120 is so much harder than 320. But A5 Greed is one of the most, for an epic, it might be the best awakening in the game. It's pretty wild. This is really cool to see a Greed like this. My experience with Greed is I got him on day 28. I chose not to put Soul Stones into him, and he was useless to me nearly. he was just above useless.
I mean, what I was trying to do, because this is my only account, and I want to kind of keep playing now because I'm having fun. I was kind of trying to play it like a main account whilst doing the challenge. Yeah, I didn't ever want to like screw myself over for the sake of trying to push, an extra 5% on something.
Yeah, I think you and I actually did the same thing there. You didn't crunch anyone, it looks like, right?
No, not really. I sold a few epics for the auto battles.
But bad epics, though.
Yeah.
My singular crunch was that Liam, thinking he's the easiest hero on my account to rebuild. Really, really awesome stuff. I have to say. The fact that this is the long, because we'd mentioned this in messages too. This is your deepest push ever, and you perform this well is really, really cool. Any final thoughts? Because we're gonna wrap it up with you. Or any final thoughts from any of the guys? For me, this was a lot of fun, and I gotta say, with 5 people on one call, this has honestly been 10,000 times easier than I ever envisioned. So thank you.
Final thoughts, like Norvros, I honestly loved it. He was just so much fun. I know it's really silly, but watching those little scarecrows like fly out, when you're trying to like rerun Gear Aid 2 over and over again, having something that's just a little bit enjoyable made a big difference.
Agreed. For me, that was Estrid. Just when you click Estrid's ult and then things just disappear, it's a very good feeling. And I heard someone else was speaking up. Maybe we can just go down the line. I'll keep it a bit more organized. Andrew, any final concluding thoughts?
I was gonna say, go back to his best records page.
Sure. And you are the highest level now, level 64. So what a grind! Bravo.
Yeah. Mad respect for that APOC 1 score. I tried it and it
that's
sucked with crappy gems.
Yeah, so that is that. So your mana is definitely the highest. My best single score was, I don't. Oh no, yeah, it was like high 29. So this is super duper good. Yeah, good shout, Andrew. Danny, anything from you?
I just want to say something about the talent. Like it gets the game enjoyable for me. Because I've been playing for the last 6 months this game, and in order for me to keep myself occupied and enjoy the game, I had to make 2 alt accounts that I'm playing. To this day, I play my main account and 2 alt accounts to keep enjoying the game, basically. And this challenge made me enjoy the game even more.
Yeah, for me, it was nice to be back to the basics and just be excited about pulls all the time and be excited about milestones, because it does just peter off so much, unfortunately, as the game goes. So it's nice to have those little wins for sure. What do you think, Hantuyx?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the challenge. On my main account, it's kind of at the point where I'm just waiting for banners to pop up to pull heroes I need to push any content. Just kind of sitting still waiting. So it was a lot of fun to be able to actually push content a lot of the time.
Yeah, you touched on something there. Yeah, like so to use my main account as an example, I'm at the point where from a normal summon, the only thing that could truly get me excited is Torador. And aside from that, it's just Ancients and hoping somehow a Lord comes one day. And it's fine, but it's not at such a thrilling place to be when this is like at any moment something fun could happen, right? And it's pretty fresh. Maybe that's a good final transition how I plan to end this, guys. Anyone can speak up at any time. If it gets chaotic, it gets chaotic. Would you guys let's just make it 2 parts. Would you be down to continue this and do something with kind of like Gear Dungeon milestones or Guild Boss 2 milestones, or just do another month and see where we end up? We could do the same milestones as well. Or is there a different challenge that kind of popped into your head after doing this? Or it lumped into that, is there a way you could think we could control for RNG better? Because I do 1000% feel for people that did not have the polls luck the 5 of us did.
I mean, the gear dungeon pushdown's pretty good, even though I'm never going to be able to say it right. Hantuyx.
Yeah, off to a fast start.
It's already like smashing through everybody. So no, but that would be pretty cool. I'm 100% up for carrying on. As I say, this was really fun, and I just think, like the Wreck-It 2, like a shout out to the Wreck-It 2 guild as well.
You guys destroyed us, man. Content creators suck. You really lit us on fire. If anyone wants to go through it, Wreck-It 2 has like 16 of the top 20 spots. It's absurd.
Hey, shout out to Mana too. I know he's not on here, but he was really active in the guild in 2 and talked a bunch and kept people going.
Mana's in chat right now, man.
Is he?
Yeah, man, if you want to DM me on Discord to wrap this up, we can throw you into the call too, if you have anything you want to add. I mean, you were completely dominant in this as well, and you're a great representative as a spender. So yeah, just hit me up. I would say what I would say is if we could push Wreck-It 1, whoever wants to continue, Wreck-It 2, and then anyone else in the other guilds, if we can make just even one more guild, I think it's worth continuing. Do you guys agree with that sentiment?
Yep.
I think it would be fun to continue, but I don't know how you wrap in people that maybe weren't in the first challenge.
For sure. I think I could probably make a concurrent, there can be another award for any new account that does the best, right? Something like that. Obviously they're not going to get Eliza, but so we couldn't strictly compare them to us, but interesting stuff. None of us mentioned Eliza, but what a little treat that we all got her, huh? Everyone got her. Yeah.
I gotta ask, did you know Eliza was coming when you made this challenge?
I did, yeah. I actually talked about it in the announcement.
Because it was really well timed.
I did know she was coming for a while. I wanted to make sure I started before so people had a little ramp up time. A lot of people were like, you're not gonna be able to get her. So I was just buying your fodder because I figured you'd want that.
I was just looking and I was like, oh, you're just running the account now?
We need to get you your fodder, man. Yeah. It's too valuable. I knew Eliza was coming and I thought it would add a fun wrinkle. And would help people really push and get the gear they needed. I think the account would have been really different without her. I mean, people would have figured out ways, but it wouldn't have been the same. So that was in my head as well. But looks like the Arbiter Lord's coming probably next, so we'll have to see. My hope is we get a new epic Nightmare Lord. I'm really curious what that would look like. I just want to say one final thing, and then I want to just go down the line for any final thoughts anyone might have at all. Basically, I want to say we've never run a challenge. I did a rare challenge with 2 creators before, but it was really brief. The other 2 guys basically gave up 2 weeks in, so it wasn't real. I didn't do a good job of managing it either. I'll take full responsibility. This, I think we did a good job, I hope, but obviously there were things we did that were imperfect. There were rules that we didn't think that had to be made that obviously come up once you start. Like, are you allowed to use your legendary skill dust if you don't have like a Micah or Abomination or Volca to use it on, so on and so on and so on, you know, for the Volca quests, or you wouldn't have a Volca yet, you know? So there's a lot of little moments and growing pains, and I know some people were upset about the re-rolling, even though I think I was pretty explicit about that. You know, there's a lot of little moments. If you guys have any thoughts on that, or certainly anyone in chat or just anyone in the future wants to message me or really just tag me in the Epic chat or on my war chat in my Discord. We want to make it better, and I thought this challenge was a pretty big net win. So yeah, if anyone has any final thoughts about the challenge, about future challenges, continuing this one or just completely separate, I definitely would like to hear it. Yeah, we got Archer, the web dev, in the chat. We're going to keep improving the website, of course. Like, take it all with a grain of salt, right? This is so new to us, and we're just trying to do something for a game that's lacking a touch of content at the moment, right? Maybe I can go down the line here. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. I saw Bingo lighting up. If you got anything on your mind.
Yeah, I was just going to say, actually, the website and like submitting the check-ins. I don't think we've spoken about it too much, but just having that leaderboard up was just actually really fun part of the challenge. To like go in, especially with like mana and war guides. I think for the first few weeks, the three of us were sort of battling it out.
Yeah.
And then seeing like some other people just shoot up and suddenly clear like 2 or 3 stages or something. But yeah, whoever was like sorting that out, maintaining that, big shout out, because that was awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Archer. We got our dev in the chat right now too. It was a little like idea I had that was supposed to be so much simpler, and then what he turned into was insane. So if anyone has suggestions to keep improving that, if anyone noticed, it wasn't a button that brought you to Wreck It with Epics. It was a button that brought you to challenges, and there was an event open challenge Wreck It with Epics. So eventually we'd like to have many challenges. Things like that I think would be really, really fun. I will say, speaking of that, just one fun thing I had is just knowing the game well and knowing how my progress was going, feeling like a sleeping giant, knowing I had like 60 stamina pots and my moment was coming at the end. Did feel really good watching you guys battle on the top and thinking I had a shot to maybe punch in there. Let's go to Andrew. Any final concluding thoughts? Thank you so much.
No, not really, other than what I already said. You know, it was a nice change for the events, you know, or to do just with the game. You know, I how you nicely say the whole drama over the patch content.
Yeah.
So it was very well timed, and actually, you know, I'm a bingo. Like, this website worked flawlessly once you got the stuff set up, and I thought it was cool to be able to see everything. And I mean, I'm down for other challenges. Absolutely.
Sweet. How you feeling, Danny?
Well, the leaderboard addition was amazing. What I would like to see is from Moonton to support this challenge earlier than they decided to.
I promise I didn't tell Danny to say that. I'll say I went, part of the reason, the challenge was going to start like 2 weeks earlier. I think the timing worked out perfect because it was very much like all of August, which I think is the worst month in this game's history, but that's a story for another day. But I want to start earlier, and I was just Moonton was dragging their feet deciding if they wanted to join this, and they gave me so much pushback, basically thinking it would distract people from the game or wouldn't be good for new players. If you, like me, feel differently and think it was good for the game and good for new players, I think Bingo is a brilliant example. Someone that ditched the game almost a year ago and came back to it in this moment. You can comment on this or reach out to them or ping anything, because they gave me, I don't want to say they gave me grief, but they were very, very, very dubious. And at one point I was sending them numbers like, look at some of these stream numbers that creators are doing. There's clearly interest. Look how many participants we have. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I really wish they could have joined up instead of just saying, here's 100 diamond codes for one time, just for 2 of us creators. You know, it should have been any creator could have done Twitch drops, or it was announced, or I don't know. Obviously I'm biased as heck, but I agree. Their support would be very welcome in the future. And I definitely wanted it.
Well, the thing is, you mentioned new players. What is the best way to introduce the new players to the
This
game?
is what I
Showing
said.
them what they can do right away.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hawkus in chat saying they consider this a trial run for new players. They choose a trial run for future events. I freaking hope so. And like, if I come to them someone else, they'll be interested. Or if anyone comes to them with anything else. Kirix is a new player and saying this was massive. The amount of content that popped up in the first week helped a lot. And yeah, that was kind of my pitch to them. They were saying, what if you just did like a one-off thing instead of making people do new accounts? I think maybe they were worried it would distract from their real accounts and affect the game. But I tried to reassure them that no, if you do like a one-off challenge like they've done, like what's the best you can do on 119, It's going to be people with accounts like mine or a lot of you guys on your main account who are using completely broken OP stuff to beat 119, as opposed to us beating it by the skin of our teeth on new accounts. That was kind of my pitch. I guess just Hantuyx, you remain, and then we can end this thing. I thank you guys so much for your time. Anything on your mind, man?
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun with the challenge. The website was really nice. It was easy to submit updates and nice to look at how everyone was doing. And I would definitely be interested in continuing. One thing, I don't know exactly how you would implement it, but it would be nice if there would points for the gear dungeons, and then also somehow based off of like milestones in Guild Boss 2.
Yeah, that's the idea I have in my head. I think it's just a cool natural progression where it's like, hey, we just beat the early game. What can we do succeed in the late game kind of thing? Yeah. Definitely everybody let us know what you think. Guys, thank you so much for your participation. I never imagined when I messaged you all that all 4 of you would be down with all these different time zones. The 5 of us could be on a call for an hour and a half. So this is really exciting for me. Yeah, personally, this has been an interesting moment in my content creation. So to have this, which was like probably the thing I'm most proud of, wrap up and get this call together, it really does mean a lot. And I thank you guys for your like consistent, dedicated participation, and for everybody watching now or watching in the future or who watched at any time in the challenge for just like supporting it. And my apologies for winning or not winning or whatever. Like all I want to do is do well and be a part of it. And yeah, I wish there's an alternate timeline where like I don't get Dolores or I don't get Estrid and we just see what happens.
Rigged.
It's totally rigged. It's yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Just a reminder to our amazing players. We got Andrew in 5th place, Dani in 4th, Hantuyx in 3rd, Bingo in 2nd, number 1 in my heart, especially after that day 31 ridiculous Nightmare Force score without Micah beating me. So super cool stuff, guys. Thank you so much. I'm sure hopefully we'll see all these guys around just killing it in the game. If you're interested in any of my stuff or any of the other creators that participated, there's a channel on my Discord, the Fast and Fastidious, with every single one of like the 26 creators that participated with all their info linked, so you can go check them out. I hope this was a good thing for the community. I certainly thought so. Thank you for watching. Share it with your mother. We'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.